So here's like a daily walkthrough of what I'm looking for in taking a day trade for trading the SPX, the S&P 500. In this example, I'm going to first observe what happens in the first 30 minutes of trading. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of misdirection. There's kind of a lot going on. I think it's a lot better as a day trader to just sit back and kind of observe and see what happens. So in this example, we're going to wait for a 30-minute candle to close. And from there, we're going to draw kind of like a range. We're going to look at the upper range, lower range. So the first step, observe the 30. The second one, we're going to start to see watch direction. So in this case, we're going to see that there is a lot more selling. We are going to get a red candle. It's kind of showing us that this upper range is probably going to hold for now, and we're getting selling. The next candle, since it didn't happen, since it's kind of a shorter candle, we're going to see what happens with the next candle. And in this candle, while we're watching, we see it absolutely blows through the support. So now we're going to say the support's broken, and we're kind of going to get in the mindset of looking for shorts for the rest of the day. Obviously, nothing's going to drop directly in one candle. So we're going to kind of wait for things to play out, and we're going to see what happens when it comes back to this range. Again, if it never comes back to this range, we don't really have a setup. So we're going to look for something else. But in this example, we're going to say, okay, let's see what happens when it retests. Sure enough, it comes back to this range, and we're going to see a little bit of a convincing candle. Again, nothing's ever going to be perfect in trading, but you're going to kind of watch this range, and we kind of see it kind of flirting with it, teasing with it. We're still watching. We're not taking a trade yet. We're still looking, and we're going to see the next candles. The next candle kind of comes. We see a little bit more red. We're kind of thinking, okay, there's going to be a lot more selling. And sure enough, we're going to see the support break, but we're going to pretend like we don't know what's going to happen next. And this is, in this example, after you kind of see that this new support turn resistance is kind of holding as resistance, we're going to kind of look for a short. So we'll pretend like we're kind of getting here. We're going to add some puts, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to see that this support does indeed turn into resistance. So ideally, if you had to take a guess for targets, you're going to look at the earlier gap where the market opened at, and then you're going to look at the bottom range. So these are just examples. It's easy to hindsight when we see it, but we'll try to do some more examples where it's going to be live and I don't know what's going to happen. So in this case, we're kind of thinking, okay, a lot of selling. We're in the mindset of puts. Here it is. We have resistance or support. Now it's looking like resistance. We're kind of getting some red. Let's get into a put and kind of see what happens with a target of possibly filling the gap. Say we get in, we see a lot of selling. We're not in any mood to close. Comes to here, and we're like, all right, that's not a bad trade. You either can trade, or you can close, be done for the day, or you can say, hey, maybe this is a lot of selling. Let's be a little bit more patient. So you come to your first target, and you're seeing, wow, that there wasn't really much of a bounce. This was a tiny little wick. Kind of comes up a little bit. You're still thinking sellers are in control, so you're probably going to still want to hold the put or look for more downside. Sure enough, we break this previous support now, or it's now kind of turned into failed support, a lot more selling, and we get it all the way down to here. That'd be pretty hard to not close. I think today in this example, some of the puts were going up as much as 500, 600%. Obviously a pretty nice day to show that this works, but we'll see if there's some other trades in the future that we can actually see something that happens a little bit different.